Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to day 2 of my 3-day inner confidence workshop. In today's session, we're going to be talking about fears and digging a little bit deeper into what these fears are and understanding how our fears can hold us back. I'm really looking forward to this session. So grab a paper and pen and let's get started. So day 2, using fear as your fuel. Fear is a state of mind. What you fear, somebody else just might not be bothered by that. And we know that, don't we? There may be things that, for example, a fear of flying. Some people are terrified at the thought of going in an aeroplane. Other people just get so excited at the thought of travelling by plane. And so it's the same activity, it's the same action, it's the mindset, it's how those individuals view that activity, if you like, or that scenario. And so, what are your fears? Here's some that I've come up with. Fear of failure. So, again, just make a note as we're going through this. Have you ever had a fear of failure? Perhaps you have a fear of judgment, a fear of understanding, a fear of being hurt. I have struggled with all of these at one time and another. And I do believe that these fears hold us back. And we're going to dig into each one in a little bit more detail, but then you'll understand how they can hold us back, but equally how we can change. Because remember, it's a state of mind. You can change how you feel about these things. You can change how you think about these things, and you can change your approach to them so that these no longer hold you back. So a fear of failure, I think this is something that we've all had at one time and another. I think it's something that, it prevents us from trying things because you just think, what if I don't do it very well? What if it goes wrong? Um, you know, even things I'm just thinking about as a family, cooking meals and things. We encourage our daughter to cook meals. It's kind of, oh yeah, but I don't want to try that because what if it doesn't go very well? And so it can hold you back. But it can also be a great motivator. And again, it's that change in mindset. It can give you the push to do a good job. It can encourage persistence and effort because it can make you think, do you know what? Instead of it holding you back, but what if it goes well? And even if it does go wrong, what can I learn from it? So you're taking a positive from it. But again, it's how you view this, it's how you feel about this. Because fear of failing can have a negative effect and it can increase stress and anxiety. We know that. People worry about getting things wrong, people worry about failing or failing in their eyes. And so you can see, can't you? If you worry that it will, and that it causes you stress and things, it will hold you back. But if you're viewing fear of failure as yeah, but actually, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I don't fail, it can be a great motivator. And so my question to you is, which one are you? Are you going to use fear of failure as the negative stress, or are you going to use it as the motivator? Fear of judgment. This can also be called social anxiety disorder. And again, I've also struggled with this. It's that, worrying about what people think of us, worrying about fitting in and being part of the crowd. Being part of the crowd is a natural instinct, though. Back in the day, and I'm talking, thousands of years ago, it was important for us to be part of the community. That meant survival for us back in the day. We had to work as a group when we were hunting and gathering to survive. So it is an intrinsic part of human behaviour. But of course, we've moved on from those days, and yet we still, to a degree, carry this fear of judgment. We worry about what people think about us. And sometimes that worry can hold us back. So we won't put ourselves forward in case somebody thinks, that you're stupid, or you've got that wrong, or they'll laugh at you, or they'll think that, I don't know, they don't like your clothes, or whatever. That's all fear of judgment. But what that does as well is that puts your entire self-worth in the hands of other people, which, if you let it, like I've said, it will hold you back. If you're too concerned as well, if you think about it with what other people are thinking about you, it's quite probable then that you're really judging yourself too, which again is going to hold you back. It can make you feel stuck in life, because you might think, well, I really want to, I want to speak up, or I want to join that group, but I don't want people to look at me and think, they don't like my hair, or that if I speak up, they'll think I'm boring, or I'm stupid, or whatever. And so this can increase levels of stress, anxiety, and it can also bring on feelings of depression, because we worry too much. So you can see, I think, that how if you let this fear of judgment, and bearing in mind as well, and again talking about this, it's a mindset thing. We would always assume that people would be judging us negatively. It would never cross our minds that we would go into a room and somebody would think, wow, look at her, she looks amazing. We never think that. And when I'm talking to my clients, and when they say that they won't do certain things, I say, why? And they say, well, because, people are going to look at me and think negative stuff. And I've said to them, have you ever thought that somebody might be looking at you and thinking, I love her hair, or wow, look at her, she's come here on her own. I wouldn't do that. I've had to bring my friend today. And these clients have said, no, never thought of that. We always fear it's a negative judgment. And again, that's the mindset thing. So how about shifting it then? How about shifting it in your mind? Because you don't know it's true either way. But if thinking that people are going to be looking at you in a more positive light and judging you positively, would that help you to do these things? And so again, the question for you would be, is fear of judgment going to hold you back? Or is it going to drive you forward? Or are you going to change how you view it? A fear of understanding, and again, something I've struggled with all of these, but especially in my last corporate job, I used to have to go to like project meetings and stuff. And although I knew my job really well and I was good at my job, I was really reluctant to speak out at meetings, just in case I'd misunderstood the conversation. And the thing was, I probably hadn't, because I knew what I was doing. Like I say, I knew, that I was doing a great job. But if somebody asked a question, I probably wouldn't speak out, just in case, because my little brain would go, oh yeah, but maybe that's not what they're asking, so just don't. Because again, the fear of judgment, if you know, so you're worried that you've misunderstood what they're talking about, and then the fear of judgment kicks in with the, and then people are going to think you're stupid, so I would just shush. Have you ever had that? Have you ever felt like that, where you kind of itching, oh, I know this, but actually, because I might not have got the question right, and so I won't say anything, and so it holds us back. I used to do this at school as well. It's a long time ago now. But again, that, not wanting to put my hand up, I was often criticised at school for not putting my hand up in class. And it wasn't that I didn't know the answer. It was because I was worried that I might have. And I think maybe on occasion I had answered the question, and actually it wasn't quite what the teacher had asked. And so I'd got it wrong. And of course, then people laughed and, you got it wrong. And so then I just stopped doing it for that fear. Have you ever felt like that? You may have had other kind of examples of, but they were the two really that kind of stuck out for me, that where I just, and they've made me to a degree just keep back. So again, you can see how these will hold you back. The fear of being hurt. I'm sure we've all felt this. That feeling of not wanting to put ourselves out there, for not wanting to be vulnerable in case somebody hurts us. That could be a partner, could be a friend, could be family, could be a work colleague. Just that fear of, like I say, if you're putting yourself out there, kind of putting your heart on the line, you're opening yourself up for people being hurt. And again, I'm sure that we've all experienced this at one time in our lives. And so, again, for some people, it will hold them back then. They won't, they'll just stop dating perhaps because they just said, you know what, I'm tired of being hurt, I'm tired of being let down or whatever. I'm just going to stay on my own. I've got friends who were like that because they were just tired of being hurt. And so they weren't prepared to go through it again. And so again, another example of a fear holding you back and stopping, would love to be part of a loving family or to have a partner and stuff, but just that fear just preventing that from happening. So you see, all of these, whether you've struggled with all of them or just one or two, have hit home to you, they will all hold you back in one way or another. And again, like I've said in the last session, this isn't just about business, this is about personal life as well. They will all stop you from doing things that otherwise you might want to do or might feel better at doing. But the key is that you can overcome them. Again, at the start of this, I said it's a mindset thing. And perhaps it's about setting yourself some boundaries, and it's about just protecting yourself, but with a view to still putting yourself forward. And changing your perception around fear. And as in session 1, be aware of that inner voice, because that inner voice will play into your fears and will encourage you to back off. But each of these, again, you can change your mindset around and use them as positives. And again, there may be things that you need to put in place to protect yourself, but that's okay. We all need to set boundaries. We all need to have things in place that make us comfortable then to do whatever that is. And so as we finish today's session, my question to you is, are you going to fear everything and run? Or will you face everything and rise? I look forward to seeing you for day 3 of our inner confidence workshop. Thanks for watching.